Jamming, jamming. Following the music, following the music.
If I ain't had lots, I would want this. Oh, order.
I'm about to try on a wig. Can we try them on? Are we allowed to try them?
I don't know.
Hold this. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's my sweet too.
Why'd you tell me? This one, see what this one looks like. This one doesn't have to. Oh, yeah.
I'm in the building at the all new sophisticated first Saturdays. Each and every first Saturday of the month.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love that weird though. I would get it if it was. But guess what? A little bit on the mannequin.
Shut up.
So look, check out this purple on cornrow. Somebody had to do that. That's all they got lines next week.
I mean, I'm happy with my hair the way it is. I wouldn't mind having some purple hair every once in a while with some curls in it or something, but honestly, she's good with that.
I ain't never knew they had these explicit wigs in today's time. Oh,
No wig. No wig needed.
This one I call the Brady Bunch.
Ooh.
This one I call the Brady Bunch.
She had a hard night out. Police resistance. Bad police resistance.
I didn't know where you was at.
Can I take it out of the side? I went the other way. I didn't want to run into anybody. Trying to hold back this feeling for so long. A blending brush for your makeup. So you put your makeup on and then you use this to blend it. Learned that from James Charles. Ooh. Well, you know what they say about milkshakes.
What is that?
They bring all the boys to the yard.
That's so funny.
Exactly why I love this girl, because she laughs at all of my crazy jokes.
Well, you know what they say about milkshakes? Something or no? I don't.
No matter how corny my jokes are, she always laughs. Genuinely laughs.
When the milkshakes do.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and it's like, it's better than yours, damn right. It's better than yours, I gotta eat you.
But I got to try.
La 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 la.
Hey, hey, hey.
La la la. I was thinking you got enough to give me the same meal you just ordered.
You want cheeseburger too?
Double cheeseburger and milkshake, no fries.
No fries. There's no blue fries on there. You gotta like to get fries. I thought we was on the one in the line.
Guys, you know I love the water, so I just ate a ton of food with my best friend. She and I are both kind of going through some things, some boy things, guy things, and we just ate a ton of food like in the past 3 hours. And I was on my way home after saying my goodbyes to her, and a long train was coming through town, which happens all the time. I don't know if anyone out there who's watching lives in a small town, but if you do live in a small town, oh wow, this is so pretty. If you do live in a small town, then you probably can understand the pain of having to wait on a long ass train to go by. So there was a long train going by, and I decided to turn off and make a detour. And then I saw this little bridge area over here. And I pass by it a lot, like when I take that detour around the train when it's coming. But I've never actually stopped and come over the bridge. So I just came over and parked. And now I'm walking down this little bridge area situation that's right here. And I'm just walking down here to see kind of what's down here. It doesn't look like anyone's been down here in a long time. And it literally doesn't even look safe. But, you know me. But yeah, this looks kind of sketch. Kind of sketch city. What do you think? I don't even know if I should be over here. But, I mean... Oh my God, please don't let me fall in. Swimming skills ain't on point. You feel me, dog? But this is pretty. This is nice. North Carolina on a Saturday. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. Beautiful blue skies. It's just a little spot on the river. I'm going to end up going over there, I think up there, and doing some filming. Some guy just came and rode his bike up there. But yeah, I thought this would be a pretty area to just come and, I don't know, let some things out. Relationships are hard. Like, relationships are very, very hard. And it's not even about, like, two people being different, or you have, you know, whether you have a lot in common, not a lot in common. It's just, I think it comes down to not... Hold on, there's a guy coming. Hey. Well, let me go. Huh? Oh. I think I'm gonna go walk and see if I can get to that bridge. Seems like something I would have to drive to, though. It just seems a little further away. Farther. Is it farther? It's about to happen. This is happening. Aw, swings. Aww. Oh, this is nice. Close to the bridge. Whew. Rocky landing. It's okay. I still give myself a 7 for dismount. Okay, so this is like, looks like it's the entrance to the bridge. We're coming up to it. Even though I'm from Pennsylvania, I've lived in North Carolina now for over 10 years. And no matter how hard I try to not sound Southern, I end up, like, in a joking way, in a comical way, I imitate the way North Carolinians talk a lot. The way they slang their words and twang their words. I imitate it so much, in fact, that I start talking like that. And yeah, I sound I have more of a southern accent than I like to admit on most days. We're over the bridge. We're on the bridge. That's a highway over there, I think. What if I drop my keys? That'd be horrible. This is where we were. Those are the train tracks over there where we were. And this is the bridge. Le Bridge. Not the biggest bridge, but still pretty. And I think I can still do a video. What you think? Look at the prettiest background. Okay, so let's talk about freaking relationships and why they're freaking so hard. So we're going to do this in one take. You know how the Bible says, do not become unevenly yoked with unbelievers? The more I've grown up and grown, apart from the traditional sense of religion and had the issues with the religion that I was raised in, kind of booting me out, I was forced to learn a lot of lessons about life and love and stuff like that on my own. And what I've come to understand, and I think that's part of, growing into your relationship with God and, really proving to yourself what he is and what his will is for you in your life, is you learn about him and you experience him through your different life traumas and successes and things like that. You learn to know God your own way. And what I've come to know about that scripture, what that scripture has really started to hone down for me, or, long ago started to really hone down for me or emphasize for me, is not even so much about dating someone that is of your same faith, but dating someone that is on your level, which I know sounds basic. But when you think about it, if you date someone that does not have your common values, does not have your common goals, does not hang out with the type of people that you would normally hang out with, like their entire circle is not the type of people that you would normally hang out with. They're not even really the type of person that you would normally hang out with, but you still are for some reason drawn to this person, really attracted, and so you guys get together and you try to make it work. Those relationships, a lot of times, forgive me for looking to the left, I keep hearing something over in those woods, and honey, got to be ready to book it if something comes up out of there. But sometimes we still are drawn to these people, even though everything about their entire world, demeanor, their values, the way they talk, act, think, dress is completely different and are outside of what we would normally go for or be attracted to or associate ourselves with. We still end up, having some sort of attraction to that person, and we end up having a relationship. And those relationships are, usually the ones where we say, this person's not even my type. I don't even usually fall for this type of guy or girl. Those usually end up being the ones that take us through the most bullshit. The ones that we made exceptions for, and the ones that we gave a chance when we normally wouldn't give them a chance. There's a guy jogging towards us, so we're going to pause for a second. Hi. I'll check you out. So, yeah. And that's just part of being a human. Like, that's just part of living life. A lot of times, we can't explain why we're attracted to certain people, or we can't explain why the attraction feels so strong, or why we're drawn to certain people, even when we can look at them and go down our checklist like, nope, I wouldn't go for that. I usually wouldn't go for that. That's not up to my standards. That's not up to my par. But we still feel just inexplicably attracted to this person, or inexplicably rather attracted to this person, and we end up having a relationship. And that's not a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. You guys know me. I don't try to judge anything as good or bad, right or wrong. It just is what it is. I think that's just part of human nature, because I know it's happened to me more often than I like to admit. Like, my 3 most serious relationships in my life were all with men that were not my type initially, that I said when I first saw them, met them, this person is definitely not my type. Like, they're definitely not what I'm looking for. They don't know how to talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just go down your list of your checklist and they don't meet any of the criteria, but you guys somehow end up getting stuck together, or, sucked together. And I guess the whole reason why I'm talking about this is because, number one, I know I'm not the only person that's gone through this. And then when you go through the breakup, it seems like it hurts even more, because you're telling yourself, but I wasn't even supposed to give this guy a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't even, had I been in my right mind, I would have never even given you a second look. You don't even understand how close I was to just being like, no, you're not my type, press on. And so I feel like the breakups with those type of people, it hurts more, because we feel like you weren't even supposed to have a chance. Like, you're supposed to be grateful for the chance that I gave you, because normally your type wouldn't even get that type of chance. And so it hurts more, because we feel like we're even more wronged. Like, we gave somebody something that they we felt like maybe they didn't deserve. We kind of lowered our standards or settled. And sometimes you hear the word settled and you think that you're settling for someone that's not as good as you. It's not about that. It's not about feeling like you're better than another person, but we all have a certain level that we're on. And if you want to mate with someone who's on your level, maturity wise, the types of conversations they have, their spirituality, the books they read, if they read books, music, the way they look, those are all, those are levels that we're on. Those are attractions that we have. And if you deal with someone who's not on that level, doesn't mean that you're better or worse than they are, or they're better or worse than you. It's just you're on different levels in life. You have different styles, different auras, different spirits, whatever you want to call it, different energies. But the breakup feels like it's even harder to go through because you're like, I shouldn't even give that person a chance in the first place. Just make sure we're still recording. So how do you get over it? How do you get over that situation, that breakup, and that feeling of, well, damn it, I should have given this person a chance in the first place? Excuse me, I'm still nasally. Bear with me. I'd say you get over it the same way you would any other breakup. Count your losses, count your blessings, count your lessons, and move on. I think sometimes it's super hard for us to let go of things because we feel like we haven't gotten anything out of it. Like it's all been a waste. But I've learned to not look at my past relationships as wastes. Hashtag Ariana Grande, thank you next. Like she's literally talking about how she's grateful for the things that her exes have taught her. Something I've said my whole life. But you need to listen to that song. Like it really does kind of put it in a perspective, in kind of a younger person pop perspective of how you could really look at those situations instead of looking at it like, oh, I can't believe it. He left me like this. I can't believe it's over. I wasted time on him. Or, I wish I could get my time back from him. Like when we have that desire, like something is left unfinished, like a piece of us left with that person, or like they took something from us that we can't get back, it's very hard to move on from that. It's very hard to move on from a person that you already feel like did you wrong because you blessed them with your level of levelness and they didn't, respond the way you wanted to. But then on top of that, you feel like you wasted time. You're telling yourself, I wasted time on them. I gave them things that I shouldn't have gave them. They have my energy and my resources and my attention and my devotion, and I can't get that stuff back. If you look at it like that, it's going to be very hard for you to move on. Whereas if you look at it as from a point of gratitude, my mantra, be grateful about everything. There's always a reason to be grateful for every moment that you're in until the day that you die. And even then, depending on your level of consciousness, you'll be grateful for that moment as well. But in the midst of a breakup, instead of looking at it as, woe is me, I messed up, or this person owes me, or I'll never get that time back, look at it as, I'm thankful for that situation because it taught me this, and that. I'm grateful for what I learned, and I'll either never make that mistake again, or I won't make that same mistake, or going forward in the future, I'll correct my steps by going this way or that way. And then take it like that. If you take it from what you've gained from the relationship, then you won't feel like you lost anything really besides a body, and a headache. But you have to take back your power from that person and don't look at it as lost time or wasted time, because if you learned something during that time, then it wasn't a waste. It's kind of the way I see it. So yeah, that's my advice on falling for people that are on your level. And I would love to be able to stand up here and say, well, just don't fall for somebody that's not on your level. When you go down your checklist and you see that they don't match any of the things on your checklist, just walk away. Which, yeah, that's great advice. If you can do that, great. But sometimes in attraction to a person, sometimes a person can still have energy and vibes that attract you, regardless of them not being on your checklist at all. They can meet zero of your criteria, but for some reason, there's just something that, draws you to that person. And I mean, yeah, if you can walk away, great, walk away. But at the same time, what are you learning from that? Like I say, if it makes you happy in the moment and you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, do that thing, learn that lesson, have that experience, and then grow from it. But the mistake that we make is when we don't grow from it because we don't get over what we feel like we lost that we can't get back. I hope my voice is loud enough because this traffic is kind of loud and I'm kind of stopped up because of my cold. But we get stuck in breakups and not being able to move on when we feel like we lost something that we can't get back, when we feel like that person owes us something, which really they don't. And I think too, I was going to say another reason why it's sometimes so hard. Yeah, I mean, and then of course the fact that you just genuinely miss the person, like whether they met your criteria or not. If you spent any length of time with them, weeks, months, years, you develop some sort of attachment, emotional addiction to that person, and not having them, of course, is going to hurt. So just prepare yourself for all that and move forward anyway. Don't get stuck in any one rut with a person, with a breakup, with a job that you lose, with any situation in life. Don't get stuck. Find a reason to be grateful for that situation so you don't feel like it's a total loss, and then pick yourself up and move on. Move on. That's all you have to do, is literally one step, one foot in front of the other. Just move on. Move on. Don't get stuck there. That's my advice. Don't get stuck. And don't try not to break up with bad blood between you and that person. Like, I hope you never find a person, you know, someone you'll never find happiness, or you're never gonna, you know, be shit, or try not to end on with any sort of bad energy, you know, wishing any bad will on that person, because whatever energy you give out is going to always circle back around to you. What goes around comes around, or what you reap is what you sow. So if you sow, or if you what you sow is what you, you reap what you sow. So if you sow vengeful what do you want to call it, like vengeful spells, I guess, or vengeful wishes on your ex, I hope you find somebody that takes all your shit and fucks you up the way you fuck. Like, if you sow that energy onto somebody, it's going to come back around to you. That's just the way life works. And so a lot of times we get stuck in having the same old relationships all the time because we send a lot of bad energy behind our exes. So you have to stop doing that. Ladies, men, whoever's watching, you have to stop doing that. Stop sending bad energy behind your exes, because whatever energy you send out is going to come back to you. That's what that Bible verse means about reaping what you sow. If you sow a nasty, you know, ill-willed, you know, kind of send off to somebody, then you're going to get that same nasty, ill-willed energy back the next time you meet someone. That's just how karma flows, energy flows, and things of that nature. So I hope that helps. Go back and listen to the video. Keep it in your saved library if you're going through a bad breakup. My other breakup video is also really good, talking about what the Greek Stoics had to say about why relationships or breakups are so hard, and how we can get over those lies that we tell ourselves that make it so much more difficult to get through. So yeah, I'm going to finish enjoying this beautiful scenery. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I didn't even do an intro because I didn't realize I was going to do a video. So yeah, I'll do an intro separately. Thanks. Peace, guys.
The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. Hey!